So I've got two quite exciting packages today. Both of them should be Nepenthes. So I've got some decisions that I've got to make with my collection that I'm going to post a couple of videos about over the next few weeks. One is to go up with the number of Nepenthes that I've got. I always like, with the aroids that I collect, they don't really hang around over winter, as you will know. But let's have a look at what's in these packages and I'll tell you more about what I'm going to reduce in my collection and what I'm going to get more of. The clue for some of it obviously is in these boxes. So let's take a look. So we've got two parcels to go at then today, both hopefully, fingers crossed, Nepenthes, but you never know what comes through the door. So let's take a look at these. So while I'm just slowly doing this, I'm going to do a video about the changes to my collection, and those of you that have followed the channel for years know I keep, obviously, the clue's in the name, I keep a lot of aroids. And nothing's changing there. Aroids are the plants I've grown the most all my life, really, and especially in the last 10 years. But aroids that are like hardy or outdoor aroids are the thing I love the most. So that's things like Sauromatum, Amorphophalis, the things like Aracema, all of those things that you've seen on this channel for years. But over winter, there's not a lot to see or do with aroids. You can keep indoor aroids, obviously, and my house is full of indoor aroids, but you can get tired with types of plants, obviously, and with indoor aroids, I think I've done my time with keeping like hundreds and hundreds of them. So that's been reduced for a few years now, and I just keep the ones that I love. And they're mostly the vining ones, and things like Ampellissimum, so some of the longer leaved ones, and I still do collect some of the longer ones. I'm still after things like Anthurium, Palladiflorum and things like that with the long dropped leaves. But what I have done over the last few years is increase my carnivore collection, because again, I just love to draw like weird and wonderful plants, and you can't beat carnivorous plants for the weird factor. So I've got a massive Drosera collection, massive or biggish Pingicula, and I started a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago, to collect some Nepenthes. So my biggest and my oldest, that's the only one that's flowered for me, is my Bill Bailey, and that really slowly got me into the idea that I want to get more. Now the problem I've got at the minute is I've got a certain few types of plants that I will discuss with you that are basically giving me problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce those down. I'm going to talk about them in another video, not in this video. But what I'm hoping to do is increase these Nepenthes, simply because I want to get a grow tent. So I've got a greenhouse, which you will have seen if you follow the channel. I've got a 4-foot terrarium, and I've got a 4-foot glass terrarium and a 4-foot wooden terrarium. So I've got plenty of space already, but I want to do two things in the grow tent. So I want to extend the season for my Amorphophalis. That means I want to grow them indoors from about end of September, early October. Some of them don't even wake up till September in the UK. So I need to extend them through the winter in a much warmer environment. So a grow tent is where I think I'll be able to do that. So that's one reason. And the other one is to increase the amount of Nepenthes I've got to the point where eventually I can breed my own. So hence why I'm slowly starting to build up my collection now. So I've got about 30 plus Nepenthes already, but again, small and, well, certainly the ones at home, fairly small, and not yet in need of a grow tent. I've probably got about 20 or 30 at work in my office, but they're all what I'd call garden centre varieties that, you know, nothing to write home about. So anyway, what have I got in my hands as we're unboxing this one? So nicely packaged here. Can't remember who this is from, so I'll have a look in a minute. So let's bring this open. So that, I think, is a Rob Cantley. Slightly crushed. Slightly crushed picture, but it was probably at the end of its days anyway. But that is, it's the one that causes some controversy, reading the literature, because it's very, very similar to a truncata, but it's been named as a species, whether you agree with that or not, not really anything to do with me. But I quite like these rounded leaves, and there you go, rounded, coming round here, dropping into this picture. Now, again, this picture slightly mashed, but and probably it's all split, so it's not going to last. But the actual plant, the core of the plant, looking absolutely fine at the base there. So I think with that one, there's a second picture there coming through. That's looking like it could survive. Whether it survives, because of the journey, I don't know. But in terms of it not getting smashed, first of all, that's a good sign. So so this is Sarracenia Nurseries in the UK. So and this has obviously come from Borneo Exotics originally. So it's BE 3517 if you want the exact number. And it's it's quite common now. I don't think it's that rare of a plant out there in the hobby. But I wanted at least one in the collection, and I'm not starting from a tiny seedling here. At least I've got some size to it. Actually, that looks very, very dark. Well, that tendril and that picture might, if I get it in quickly, you never know. I might get some. It might survive. But overall, I'm super happy with that. It's definitely bigger than a lot of the little seedlings that you get, or the tissue culture ones that you get. I honestly just wanted one in the collection, so at least I can say I've got one once I start the bigger collection. But it's not a plant I know too much about yet. It's not one that I've illustrated or drawn yet. It is on the list to do, but I'll keep that for once when I can. I like to draw things that I know, either in my friends' collections or things that I've actually got round to understand how they grow. Now, Nepenthes, as you will have seen on this channel, I'm drawing these a lot at the moment. So I'm getting to understand the growth habits quite well. So I should really start doing more how to draw thing videos. So I think that might be nice for people to see. So that's the Rob Cantley. We can pop that down, and I'll just move all this rubbish out of the way. Okay, so this next one, if it's what I think it is, this has come from Hampshire Carnivores plants, so Matt Soper. And this one, again, I think I already have what's in here, at least one of them. But I wanted to bolster my Nepenthes veitchii collection. Now, currently, Nepenthes veitchii is my favourite Nepenthes. It's the fat, tubby little guy that everybody would know when they think of ones that can live on the ground a little bit. I draw them a lot. You'll see me drawing and posting a lot of veitchii imagery online. So that is what I'm aspiring to. Obviously, these won't be like that. They won't be anywhere near that kind of size, and they do take a fair while to get up to that size. Which I'm expecting that. It's absolutely fine. So now that's weird. That's definitely weird, because I can see 3 already, and I definitely didn't order 3. So I'm now super excited. So this is why I love doing an unboxing, because hopefully in my voice you can hear that I'm a little bit of buzzing now, because there's going to be something in there that I didn't ask for. So let me get rid of the paper. I honestly think my heart rate goes up when somebody sends me something that I didn't plan on getting. So let's just open them up one by one and I'll see. So this one is BE3734. And that is basically that's Grex 1. So this is the 2016 seed. This is again comes out of Borneo Carnivores, Borneo Exotics, sorry. I think Hans has had them for quite a while, and they're a very common Grex now. I think a lot of people get these, and they're, as much as they're lovely, they're not like the bright red ones that you'll see. You know, a lot of veitchii when you see them online, you know, the candy stripe and all of the crazy looking ones that we just can't get easily in the UK. These are the ones we have got access to moreover. Obviously some people will have the more exclusive ones, and some people will have imported some of them. So you know, getting stuff from Best Carnivorous Plants, so BCP in Czechoslovakia, is easier. Getting stuff from America, not as easy. You know, let me just get some scissors. Should be able to tackle this one a little bit better. So now I definitely, as I said, I draw veitchii a lot, so I understand the, you know, the morphology more than a lot of Nepenthes, because I've had one for, you know, had a few for quite some time. But what I don't have is any of the rarer ones. So these are, you know, these are going to help me start building up the collection. So I'm going to start scrounging seed. I'm going to start as soon as I've got the grow tent up and running, which obviously I'm going to make that a priority over winter, you know, and show you as I do it, because I am literally starting with zero knowledge. I have a greenhouse, as you'll know if you follow the channel, and I have, obviously, you know, I've got fans, and I've got, you know, misting systems and all of that set up for my tanks and vivariums, but I've never actually done that for, never actually done it in a grow tent. Let me just speed this little bit up until I've got it out. That way you can, basically means you don't have to sit here for 5 minutes while I slowly unpick it. So there you go, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves on it, and it's got 2 pictures. Both look good. It doesn't look a lot different than the ones that I have. I don't have one that's I do have a 3734. That's about maybe a tiny bit bigger than this, but now I've got you know, I'm building up the collection, so having 2 is certainly not a problem to me. But looking at that, this is possibly slightly larger and maybe slightly healthier than one that I've got, so I'm absolutely happy as Larry with that one. So let's have a look at what else I might have here. So this is Nepenthes veitchii again, but this is 4033. Now this is what they call Grex 2, so this is a 2021. And if you look online at this one, this is the one that can get a bit more red and a bit more, you know, it's a bit more of a fancy Grex. But I don't think this age, I don't think that they're going to have that much of that look about them. Some of the ones I've got from Best Carnivorous Plants, while cheaper, obviously he does things, you know, very, very cheap. They are small, so some of them are incredibly tiny, which is fine if you know if it gives you access to some plants that you couldn't get, because you can get them imported. Now I haven't imported from them directly. I've only got it off people that I've met who bring them in and then sell them, and obviously they make a markup on that as well. So again, to get some of these rarer ones, until you build up your network of friends and collections with collections, then I guess that's how it's going to be really. just drop that label out of the other one. So let us keep going. I'm just clipping this one out. Now you can see already, I'll show you in a minute, you should be able to see even at this level that this one's got more red in it. At least that picture on that side there. So let me do the speed. Let me just speed it up again for a second just to get you through this silly little bit where I'm cutting and making a noise. Okay, should be able to pull him out of that little bit now. And as I said, you can see a bit of moss fell off there. I'm not wasting any of this moss. So there we go. 4033, and look at the red coming through on that a little bit already. So it looks like it's got a plain peristome. Doesn't look like there's going to be any striping in that peristome. At least I can't see from here. And probably none on that one either. But it is what it is. I love that. They're like digital camo at the back of them. Look at that. You can see little squares at the back. But we'll see how it goes. Again, super healthy, you know, clearly. You know, I think these are clones, so I'm gonna, you know, I'm getting what you know, I'm not gonna get the variety that you'd get from a seed grown. I think it's a clone anyway. But another one to add to the collection, and it's a veitchii, so I'm building up a lovely veitchii collection now. So if you have a look at what I've got in the tank already, I say I've got some veitchii, and I've got the yellow with striped peristome. I've got one of these already, one of these Grexes already. There you go. You can. I'll show you a couple of them now on screen. But yeah, I want to build them up and see how far I get. So, lastly, let's have a look what this is. I haven't actually seen it yet. So it is. Oh, it's a cobra lily. Absolutely one of my favourite plants. So again, you would have seen on this channel, I imported some from De Flora in Italy. Obviously there is only one species, but there's different varieties that people have come up with. So I'm hoping this is, I'll have to have a look on the site because I don't actually know what it is, what kind of what Matt's done with this. So it just says CL001. So I'll have to look that up. I literally don't know. I'm guessing it looks just like a green one, but let's get it out and have a look. These are the ones, if you know anything about them, you have to keep the roots super cool. Don't drop them like I just did. So I have like a little setup outside through the summer where I keep the roots iced, well, very close to iced, and then keep them out there. Keep the heads in the sun, but their roots in the cool is the idea. So they're back in the greenhouse now, but you know, and doing absolutely fine. My full collection. Oh, look at that lovely little beauty. So I do love a Darlingtonia. Some nice red tongues there on them at the base. So again, totally different than you know, nothing to do with the Nepenthes. Totally different growing conditions. Northern California, so they're used to the runoff from the mountains, cooling down their roots. Let me see if I can get closer. They get really red in the bright sunshine, but their roots would still stay really cool with the ice water coming off the mountains in the spring. But that's a lovely little clump, so I'm going to send a nice little thank you for that. I've drawn Darlingtonia californica so many times, but I'll show you on screen there the last one that I did, so I'm going to send one of them to Matt and see if he likes them. Absolutely lovely. So massive thank you. I don't know why I get so excited. I got loads of Darlingtonia, but what is it that gives you the buzz? Do you get a buzz when you get freebies? You know, I don't know whether it's the kindness or whether it's the sharing and the community. There's just something about the act of giving like that makes it a special thing. So yeah, that's this little unboxing. So not unhappy in any way, super happy about the freebie, and overall just a good little haul, ready, tiny haul really, to go and add to the collection. So I think what I'll do just for tonight is I'll obviously the darling Tonia's got to go outside. That can't possibly stay in these kind of temperatures that all of these highlands and Utricle area have got. But what I'll do is I'll just keep them here with some of my newer acquisitions. So I've got a lot of tiny ones in here that are just getting used to being here. I will move them to this tank eventually, but obviously not yet. They need to adjust. So I'm just going to pop them, literally just pop them in here, and leave them until they've acclimatized, and then we'll get them probably in, I don't know when, but after a while we'll get them repotted, and then get them into the main tank. I hope you're liking these videos, and I hope you're liking the changes that are coming to the channel and the different plants that I'm going to be growing over the next few years. Stay tuned if you want to see more about adding a grow tent to my collection, and have a look at some of the changes that I'm making and why I'm making